Good morning, everybody. This is the ICT webinar series where we bring to you the very best in what you'd expect from a conference, which now you just can't go to anymore. Originally, it was like let's give people an alternative, so if they don't want to spend the money, and it's great, they get the same quality and make it regular 10 o'clock. And but now it's like, well, I guess you don't really have a choice, do you? All right. Next slide, please. This is our team, and our team is all working remotely, as you are. And we have a new member, Olivia Hereford, has joined us in the San Francisco Bay region. I think everybody else has been here before. And all of our information and all these webinars, of course, are on our website. And on the website, we have an incredible amount of stuff. When I go back and look at what we've already got, it's amazing. So I'm periodically going in there and picking stuff and sending it to people saying, have you seen this? Here's what you were talking about yesterday. And they go, wow, I didn't know you have it. Because all this stuff is transcribed and it's, the video is recorded and all the material, the PowerPoints are there. So everything is there if you want to do something with it, turn it into a grant or teaching class or whatever. So we're trying to make these not just a one-time deal, which is fun. It's interactive. We'll hopefully give Pablo some tough questions today, but also a resource going forward. So today we do have Pablo, who is he's just getting fancier every time I see him, and he has come into the desert. College of the Desert and taken the business information worker that Nancy was so critical in developing back at the beginning, and he's done what we were hoping small colleges or all colleges would do, is develop the third level and something custom to your region. We already had one update before, and now with the latest on progress and everything and a kind of a recap of the whole thing, we'll turn it over to Pablo to go ahead and tell us what's going on.
Oh, hello. Well, thank you, Steve. Hello, everybody. I hope everybody's staying safe. I know these are some strange times, right? That we're going through, and as a college instructor, we had to do a very quick switch and move all our lecture classes to online classes. So all of a sudden, the amount of online students that I have duplicated, and for some reason, there's not enough time. But I'm pretty sure we will get through this, and hope that everybody's staying safe. So let's talk a little bit about the BIW, and let me go ahead and share my screen with you. So we can go into share. All right. Oops. I guess I didn't start from the very beginning. Okay. So again, my name is Paulo Romero, and I teach computer information systems and the new application information systems, which I will talk about a little bit in a minute, which is a new associate's degree, a new program that we created in order to accommodate the BIW at College of the Desert. So let's get started. Now, and by the way, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to interrupt me at any time. I have no problem with that, all right? So let's do a quick recap. The business information worker conceptual pathway was something that was created, was handed in to us. And it has basically 3 different stages. They call it the BIW1, the BIW2, and then they came up with the BIW specialties. The BIW1 and BIW2 were very straightforward. They were 2 types of certifications that would enhance or give students the opportunity to work or find work in any office at 2 different levels. All right. At College of the Desert, we're not very comfortable with the names BIW Stage 1 and BIW Stage 2, and mostly because the employers wouldn't know what that is if we were to print it on a diploma. So we decided to just call it Business Information Worker and Business Information Worker Manager, right? So that's what we, so when the student gets their diploma, they can actually have, and they bring this to an employer, the employer can read it and it will have a little bit more of an idea of what is it that it was instead of a stage 1 or stage 2. But then after that, we decided to take the third part, and that's where it was great because we were able to run with it. And it's just do a little bit of research on our own end, see what the market demand was, what the students were looking for, what the employers were looking for, and try to find, tune in those certificates according to that demand. And we came up with the first 3 certificates we call it BI Marketing Specialist, BI Legal Office Specialist, and BI Medical Office Specialist, right? And those are based on the demand here at the Coachella Valley, you know, things that students are, you know, we're looking for. Okay, so the idea was to fulfill the need of the community, you know, create the job demand virtually and geographically. And the reason why I say virtually is because the marketing specialist, BIW, it's made for students to be able to work anywhere, you know, work from home and have clients all over the state, or, you know, even out of state, you know. We, in the effort to put these certificates out, we included students' opinion and the local businesses, as much as the other, you know, research that we did from the resources that are provided from us. But we took in consideration a lot of what the students were asking for. Okay, and the idea was to maximize the use of the available resources. And this is actually very, very, very important, because we did not try to reinvent the wheel. We were trying to create specialties, but our college already have certain specialties. For example, with the medical BI, the medical office specialty, we already have a health and nursing department at College of the Desert. There was no reason to try to recreate courses and you know, basically step on their toes. We just built an alliance with them, told them what we wanted to do, and they actually were very supportive, and they allowed us to, you know, start sharing their courses, so we didn't have to recreate. Basically what we were to do was just adapt the information system part to the particular field that they had. All right, and then so what we ended up coming up was with a set of stackable certificates. So I like this graph because it shows you, if we start from the bottom, you will see we have the BIW, that the BIW manager, just they're all stackable. That basically means your students just need to take a few more courses and they move on to the next one up. And then on top of the BIW manager, we had the 3 different specialties. So that means that if somebody makes it the BIW manager, all they have to take is just a few more courses and they are able to specialize in one of these particular fields. Obviously, all of them under the AIS Associate's degree. Now, the AIS stands for Application and Information Systems Associate's degree. This is the one that we created in order to accommodate this whole thing underneath it. Now, the way that I say it is like we're actually tricking the students into getting an associate's degree, right? Getting them to get an education. Because they start in, well, I just want to, you know, so I want to work in an office. I just want to get, you know, a little bit of experience with Excel and Word and Outlook and, you know, those things. So we start at the bottom and then say, well, just a couple more classes and you can get this. Just a couple more classes and get this. And I have had students coming into my office, you know, just coming in what they used to call an office professional certificate, which we don't have anymore. We replaced them with these certifications. And I just start talking to them and say, well, you know, you just take a couple more classes. You can, you know, get into this, or you can get into this. And some of them have a little bit of a interest in legal classes. Some of them have a little interest in medical classes, or other ones in marketing classes. And I said like, oh yeah, well, let me try that. Let me try that. By the time that they are all the way up there, all they have to take is the general courses and then they get an associate's degree. So it's like, bingo, I just tricked you into getting an education. Not only that, the idea is also that if one of the students ends up going, let's say one of them gets a legal office specialist and gets an AIS associate's degree, starts working for a law firm, the court system or something like that, and they start find out that they really have an interest for the law, maybe just maybe we will incite them into later on getting an education, you know, continuing their education and becoming an attorney. And I would love to be the one that actually put that thought in their minds, you know? So, so this is the structure that we have currently right now. Thank God, we were able to include this whole program, all the programs into the catalog, the 2019-2020 catalog. So we started in the fall. Some of the new class, I'm sorry, we only had to create one new course for this whole thing. Everything else we had it already at College of the Desert. We just started sharing classes with the business department, the administrative justice department, the health and nursing department. We only had to create one course. Was called we call it AIS 25, medical billing. So I'll talk a little bit more about it in a minute. But we were not able to schedule it until the spring of 2020, because this was able to hit the catalog just for the fall. But we have gotten a lot of interest, and students are getting very, very interested. Because right now, you're not studying to be a glorified secretary. You actually have a purpose, and you have something that you really, really, really like. So where do we go from there? Went from there. Well, once the programs hit our catalog, we started with the promotion. And this is an effort that I can tell you, it hasn't been only me. I have Michelle Richards, she works very closely with me, and Avery Weston, she works very close with me in the promotion of this. And they have done an excellent job in getting the word out. We have passed pathways to, or you know, information like this where the student can see how many units they have to take, you know, how we will arrange the classes so they can finish it all in 1 year. You know, we're trying to get everything as simple as possible for them, and they have been very receptive to it. Michelle Richards and Aubrey Weston have worked very hard with promoting the medical office certificate, the BI medical office certificate, and the response has been overwhelming. Actually, I told you we created this class. The medical billing class is AIS 25 medical billing. So it was full the first semester we ever scheduled this class. It was full and waitlisted, and then some more. There were people trying to get into the class. Originally, we have thought that the class should be scheduled only on the fall, you know, and with so high demand, we talked to the dean and we decided to actually see if we could schedule it every semester, giving the students several entries of point into the program. So now, instead of just starting it on the fall, finishing in the spring, the students can start at, you know, at any time. Let's see. The other thing about this is that students have actually, they keep on visiting the advisors asking for, you know, recommendations, because they were originally inclined to just get the office professional or administrative office assistant certificates. Like I mentioned before, we end up canceling those, but, you know, some students, they started the program, so we have to finish them. But we have been able to talk to them, explain how this works, the stackability of the certificates, and how they can get multiple certifications. And they have been very, very, very receptive about that. So they are very excited. As a matter of fact, since a lot of our students already had many of the courses taken from before, even before the program started, we should be awarding BIW certifications at graduation this year. Unfortunately, our graduation has been postponed, and I do not have the data available, and I wish I was able to have that data for you today, but hopefully maybe later I could pass that to Nicole, and you know, she can publish it, because it would be our first graduation with BIW certifications, and I know there is plenty of them out there. You know, in such a short time, the response has been overwhelming. So let me talk a little bit more about probably the most successful certificate that we have right now. The ones that we are offering right now is the medical office specialist. I believe a lot has to do with it because of the area where we are located, the geographical area where we're located. We have a very large senior citizen population here, and it requires care, and there is a lot of medical offices and doctors, and so medical billing, it's in big demand, right? But we have also found support, and Eisenhower Medical Center has showed us their support. They are a big hospital here, and they have this we just had a meeting actually with them like a month and a half ago, I think, and of how is going to be the process for the first cohort to be able to apply for internships in the hospital. The only thing that I'm worried about right now is that we have a huge cohort and they can't take everybody. So it's going to be an application system, and they're going to be able to select the students that they want to keep there. But right now, what we were thinking about is going and speaking with the other two hospitals here in the Coachella Valley and said, hey, well, Eisenhower is doing this for us. Would you be able to do the same thing? Hopefully, in order to expand the opportunity of students to do their internship in these hospitals, right? But the whole idea is for the students to get work experience credit for it as part of the certification, and also to get them to network and get a feel of how is it working in a hospital. One of the very funny things that one of the gentleman from Eisenhower mentioned was that some of these jobs are going to be in the emergency room, and so like I personally wouldn't be able to do it. I don't think I could be, admitting patients to come in all like bleeding and stuff like that. It's just, I'm not there, it takes a certain kind of person, and I'm just not it. But anyway, but they have been very receptive. We're starting a system, and hopefully since our first cohort started started this spring, they should be able to finish. So we're trying to see if we can get the applications submitted and everything to see who they want to choose for the fall, right? But at the same time that we have other hospitals that we're looking, we also can work with medical offices. There's really a lot of different employers here that would be able to help us, and they will definitely benefit from this program. So we're really trying to get the word out, not only to the students, but also to the employers. All right. So what's new? And here, this is the fun part. We started a real BIW real estate certification. Now, this is just on the very, very, very beginning stages, on the planning stages, but we are very, very excited and probably this is one that we would be able to share with everybody else, because real estate, it's big here in the Coachella Valley, as much as it's, well, all over California. That's the reason why our homes are so expensive, right? So, but we started the real estate one, and it allowed students to be able to either work on real estate agencies, property management companies. We have a lot of those here, also in the Coachella Valley, because I have a lot of gated communities with associations. So there's tons of property management companies. There's also commercial property management companies. We can start with real estate development companies. They can work with those. But most important is that what we are trying to do is be able to see if the students will take an interest, become certified, and become agents themselves, right? And obviously continue their path with the AIS Associate's degree, because this, just like the other specialties, this one would be stacked underneath them. underneath it. But what's the idea? The idea is to provide, at the end, it's always to provide a business information worker pathway into real estate offices or different types of real estate offices. However, just like all the other one, like we did with medical billing, we put in a couple of courses in there that would allow the student to take industry certification. And in this case is to become an approved real estate agent, you know, for a fraction of the cost that it would cost them, you know, if they were actually doing it on their own or taking those online classes, or I believe that there's some face-to-face classes some places, but they are extremely, extremely expensive. So what do we need in order to do this? Okay, according to the DRE, Department of Real Estate, these are the courses that are required for somebody to take a real estate license exam, which is real estate principles, real estate practice, and then one course from the following list. And then they give you this big list of courses, and you know, it's right there. But I wanted to point out that it says general accounting or business law. That's for the reason they are highlighted. Well, those are courses that we already have at the college, and I'm pretty sure every college has them. Now, the other ones are definitely courses that we would like to introduce once we get more demand in here, because they're very interesting, very important. But we are trying to get this off the ground. So if we have what it takes, I think that we should use it. So we thought about just taking those courses, which is the real estate, the real estate principles, and I put new right next to it, and real estate practice, because we will have to develop curriculum for those. Now, the good thing is that there is other colleges that already have this curriculum out there, and they are looking forward to share this with us, and it has been very, very helpful. But once we just put those two courses in there, we add the computer literacy class, advanced Excel, and business research. Now, if you see those three other courses are just regular part of the BIW. You know, anybody with a BIW will probably have those three courses already. And then we have elective courses. We'll just add the financial accounting or business law. They just need to pick one, and we will end up having a certificate with 17 or 18 units. Depends on the amount of units that this have, because financial accounting, I believe it's a 4-unit course. Business law is a 3-unit course. So we will have a BIW certification right there, and all these courses will be under the AIS associate's degree. Does anybody have any questions so far? Nope.
I think that's great. I mean, I've been having discussions with people on how things are changing with this new virus environment we're in, and property management and helping people exist in their homes, whether it's through refinancing or whatever, is going to actually become more in demand.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as all these people, you know, have these basic skills and understand the industry enough, I think that, I mean, your home's going to be more than your castle. It's also going to be where you work. It's going to be a lot of other things. So this could be a growing thing, and very. I love what you've done here. I personally went through the real estate license process many years ago when I thought I was going to make $1 million. But
oh yeah.
Now I'm more sane about these things. It looks great. I think your students get a lot of it. So have you already? Are these going to be on the schedule?
Well, no, the BIW real estate specialty is on the works right now. That's why I have the little under construction thing. This is something we have been organizing. We were able, before this whole virus thing, and you know, we have to lock ourselves at home. We were able to gather the information for the 2 classes that we need to create a curriculum. We have not created. So I've given it a timeline with, you know, creating 2 new courses and putting the certificate in probably by the fall of 2021. That depends on how quickly we can get those courses approved. But if we get them submitted, you know, sometime this spring.
This is great.
This is Kent Moser. I had a question.
Sure.
Um, so we just started ours. In fact, we just got it approved through the chancellor's office, all 22 courses and 3 levels of certificates and an AS degree as of January. And so we're excited about it, but we went exactly like the model curriculum for the BIW. And then, we want to do some of the things like you did eventually, to have a few stackable additional certificates. So you require the first 2 levels of everybody, then they branch off to a more specialized certificate when they get to the 3rd level. Am I understanding that correctly?
Well, no, we do not require anything. Actually, each certificate stands on its own. If somebody comes in and said, hey, I just want a legal office certificate, they will just get it. But the thing is that the way that they are created, if you take the legal office certification, you would automatically get a BIW, because it is just a few more courses than what the BIW was. So it's kind of like a step-by-step section. So yes, but any student can just choose whatever they want. If they just want a particular certification, that's it. If a student comes in and they want to say, oh, I just want to become a real estate, get this real estate specialty, they will take this that is right here, and they can easily get, I think, a BIW manager. I don't remember the exact courses that they have, but a BIW manager will come with this one.
Okay.
So they will get a manager and the real estate specialty at the same time, and then they will be like, hey, you know, you just want to take those general courses, then you can just get an associate's degree. But most important, that once they completed this certification, they can just go and say, hey, let me try for the real estate license. Obviously, they will probably have to pay for that. I mean, we still haven't gotten any breaks in that, which would be a good idea to figure out if we can get actually a break from the DRE for the cost of that for our students. But something I'm going to write down right now. But they would be able to just try the license. They will have the education, get their real estate license, and now they can start working in the field, you know. And with everything that is going right now with this virus, and you know, I think that we're going to go into a recession, and students are going to find all different types of CTE work. They are going to, you know, CTE certifications they're going to want in order to get work quickly.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, right now we're just going with level 1, level 2, level 3, just like they had the model curriculum. But yeah, we definitely want to shake it up a little bit like you have done, maybe different stackables. The one thing I wanted to throw out is before we got started, we asked a whole bunch of students what they thought of the type of certificate, and they all loved the concept, but they hated the name.
The BIW?
For some reason, they didn't like the name worker. And,
oh, really?
So we actually did the exact same model curriculum, but we're calling it BIP, Business Information Professional. And that seemed to get almost 100% positive feedback on that.
I'm going to take the arrow in my back for the name because I've been so impressed with Peter Drucker my entire life that when he talked about the modern information worker and wrote books about it, I just assumed that was considered an elevated word when you put information with it. You know, apparently I'm wrong. Okay.
I think it was maybe back then. A lot of them thought it was more almost demeaning or blue collar. So we decided to go with Business Information Professional. Same program. We just decided to call it a different title.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I had to figure out what the response is, because it's somewhat how we market this. Like we got rid of the stage 1 and the stage 2 because they were, for us, they were basically meaningless for the employer. You know, it really didn't say much. So we wanted to make it marketed in a way that the employer, which is at the end is the one that's going to hire these people, understood what they were coming with. So I can see that.
My escape strategy on this issue is that we came up with a conceptual model, and the idea was that colleges could hybridize it or take it where they wanted to go. And I think the CID work that Nancy helped spearhead was sensational. There's a an early short certificate in that thing that I think is helpful to a lot of people. I'd love to see somebody implement that and get some success on that. But Pablo, what you have done, and the thing reason we've always been so excited about your work is you walked out into the community, and of course when we were allowed to walk out, and you actually met with people and you found out how they wanted it customized. And regardless of what you call it, we know that set of skills is valuable, and just, you know, it may be ordinary. You're doing Outlook is ordinary, yeah. That's how you get a job. Okay, so anyhow, but then you did that finishing touch, and that's what I love about the work that you've done. And so I don't want to interrupt you, but I know you got more to go here, so please proceed.
Well, actually, well, thank you for that. Yes, the biggest part of this is to network with the community, you know, with the students and the employers, because they are the connection. We're just the middleman. We're just providing them the tools so they can, you know, they can have a working relationship. And so if we listen, that's great. For example, there's you know, there's geographical areas where maybe a medical billing certificate is not a, you know, it will have market, but not as big market as we have here. And there might be a different type of area where it would, or a different type of industry that would be more appropriate for the geographical area. And, you know, things to think about. I mean, if I was doing this in Los Angeles, I would probably start looking into the entertainment industry, you know, and how, you know, the students can work in offices in the entertainment industry. So what we have, and so this is what we have as of right now as an update, but we will have for the future, we have been talking about a BIW hospitality specialty. Since here in the Coachella Valley, you know, hospitality is a big business.
Well, you know, one skill set we're going to have to add is the Zoom. And I was talking to a fellow who's consulting with Airbnb yesterday. And Airbnb is practically out of business right now because nobody can go to an Airbnb. But what they're trying to pitch is Airbnb as a purveyor of Zoom experiences. So whether it's with a yoga coach or with this, that, or the other, they want to be in the middle of brokering that. And so to a certain extent, hospitality and retail, we're going to see some changes, and I'm not really sure what they are, but I mean, like everybody else, I'm just hoping everything gets back to normal pretty soon, you know.
I really hope so too.
Yeah.
So so I have been speaking with our new instructor, hospitality instructor. We have an instructor at College of the Desert, and about, you know, maybe developing this and have people being able to work in the, you know, in the offices for the you know, hotels, restaurants, country clubs, golf courses. There's all kinds of different areas where this could go to. So this one we haven't even started. It's just one of those conversations we have, and it will be very, very interesting to get it off the ground.
I'm looking forward to this one. I've always thought that's a very strong play right there, because the basic office skills that somebody has, well, any profession. I go back to when we were showing this to people in the entertainment community and saying, this is the business information worker. We'd like to do a kickoff program for the entertainment industry that would take through the critical first steps. They say, we want that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's what people need to know. And a lot of them don't.
Well, if you just want to know if anybody has any more questions.
Yeah, can we get a copy of your slide presentation? That would be great.
Absolutely. Nicole, do you have it? Do you want me to send you another one?
I have it. We will post the slide deck and this webinar replay in a few days. And I'll send a link to everyone who registered for this webinar.
Okay. Nicole, I have a question. Do we have, because I can always send it to you. I'm pretty sure I have it. The original one that I had from last year.
Yep, we have that. That whole webinar is posted with its materials already.
Oh, okay. Because I just think it kind of makes sense if people watch the slides, like watch that one had a little bit more detail on the process of how to do this. And then and then then they can watch this, because this one basically is giving you an update of what happened. But as of last year, we talked about what are the steps to follow in order to create, to do this certifications and to respond correctly to the demand, right? So it might be interesting to watch both.
Pablo, I had a question.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Our business area currently offers a skills recognition for the real estate professional, or actually they call it real estate sales. So the person who wants to go and get their license, they take a series of 3 courses, similar to what you have, the first 2 and then a following one.
Yeah.
Do you plan to do that in addition to the specialist? Because it really is a different skill set.
I'm sorry, I did not understand the question then. I thought I did, but I didn't. So,
Well, your real estate specialist that you're proposing has the 3 courses that are the real estate specific. If I read that correctly.
Yeah, let me go back to that. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. No, hold on a second. Where is it? This one's, yeah. The 3 courses, yeah, would be the principles, practice, and then one of the electives, which is financial accounting or business law.
Right. Our business area currently offers that series of 3 courses as a skills recognition certificate already. So I'm wondering, for us, do you see that as an offshoot from your program as well, being able to offer that skills recognition? Because I'm just wondering for the duplication for my students.
Well, and that's what was mentioned before. We do not duplicate courses. If the courses are already there, then we do not recreate them. So the reason why I'm putting them in there is because we don't have them. Now, in your case, since you already have them, and students are taking them, what I would do is I would just package it as a program so they can also get certified from your college. See what I mean? Because right now, if a student goes in and takes the 2 real estate classes and the elective, and then they go do the real estate the real estate license, and then you don't see them again, they basically get recorded on your records as a skill builder. And this person was not basically a completer. It was a completer for their purposes, but not for your college.
Right. Yeah, I realize the skills recognitions don't meet other than the 9-unit CTE credibility at this point for funding.
Yeah. So if you have it already packaged, those 3 courses as a certificate, then yes, if you were to create a real business office BIW real estate specialty, it will put it in competition, for the program. So I don't know how to, but you want to make sure that there's some kind of completion there. Well, first for funding purposes, because then if you get skill builders, you're not going to get, the funding is required. And then the other thing is that the way that this one is structured is under the associate's degree. So it's stuck right underneath it. So they can keep on going and then complete. And for what I understand right now with the way the new funding formula has morphed into, and feel free to correct me if I'm not getting this right, is that you can the college gets paid for the highest level program completed by the student on each year. So if a student were to do this and complete it in 1 year, and then continue to and get their associate's degree the following year, you get paid for both.
Okay, yeah, I didn't realize that. My other question is, have you requested the CID approval for your BIW courses?
CID approval for BIW courses? You know what? I don't think so, and that's actually a good idea. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. The only course that we have created is the medical billing, because this BIW real estate specialty we haven't done. It's in the works. It's just barely starting. And we were just trying to organize how we were going to do it. So I just wanted to present that to you to see what our plan is. Now, for the other ones that are in the catalog already, the only one that we created was the medical billing the medical billing course, and we can definitely share the curriculum that actually gets CID approval on it. So, you know, because we're willing to share all this information with everybody.
Oh no, I'm just talking about, you know, your previous courses, as Steve mentioned, you know, you can go through the CID approval for those Excel courses, business communication, Outlook, all of those through the BIW process. So I just didn't know if you had done that.
No, actually, I don't, because those courses are the same ones that we have ever had. What we did here was just basically rearrange what we had in order to make it a little bit more effective and efficient for the students and for the college. So we really didn't try to reinvent it. Mm-hmm.
You could still submit those older courses for CID approval. And then if the student does come to you, you know, the whole purpose was so that if they go from college to college, the courses are the same.
Okay,
you know,
I see.
So yeah, I would encourage you to go back and.
You know what? And then the answer to that question is I don't know. When I started the department, everything was already created. So, but it is definitely something that I'm going to look into it, because yes, we want to be able to make sure that students can just jump, you know, from one college to the other, be able to take this with them. So, I mean, they might be approved already, like, but the answer is I don't know.
You know, Pablo, you've woken up a back part of my brain that has not been working for a while. Okay. And I think it's that business information professional. I think it's a wonderful name.
Mm-hmm.
And,
yes,
and I've been talking to so many people recently about how things are shifting in the new environment with the demand for remote work. And maybe it's a question to the group right now. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I know Rupa's on here too. A lot of people that have been involved with BIW for some time. If we were to try to reorganize our business information worker effort to a business information professional and have a carve out called a remote specialist or something like that, to help people position themselves for being a remote worker in what will be an evolving demand for people that work from home or whatever yet do jobs. Does that sound like something that would be of value that different colleges would want to participate in?
Yeah, yes. In fact, one of our next stackables we wanted on our BIP program was a virtual manager or virtual assistant stackable cert.
That sounds like an amazing idea. I would jump all over that right away, because it is in high demand.
Is it an add-on in the end, or is it something that just gets contextualized through the whole thing?
We want to have ours so that everybody does the same first two certs, and then the third cert, they have the choice of getting the regular BIP or emphasizing, almost like when you choose your major, except they can emphasize in a different area, virtual assistant, logistics. I mean, we have Amazon going out here in the Out Valley and a ton of different warehousing type facilities. We think that logistics and supply chain would be a high demand item for us anyway.
Yeah.
That would be great. Now the question is, would we want to include this, like create a new course to be included with the BIW that we already have, or would it be just a whole new certificate on its own?
Well, you know, I think anytime you can accommodate what you've already got.
Okay.
Remote, no. Virtual, yes. Yeah, virtual. You know, it's funny. We've gone from an environment where locationless was kind of the buzzword. You can do anything from anywhere. Now it's like, no, you can do a whole lot of things from one place and you can't leave. We've changed, but yeah. So maybe remote is a bad word. And I heard recently on one of our prior seminars, someone said, "Don't call it social distancing, call it physical distancing, because we still need to be social, just but physically 6 feet apart." You know,
yeah.
And so where terminology is, you know, important. And got that. So anybody here on the call who wants to pursue something or help us put together or brainstorm on this idea of virtual or remote add on to this, and Pablo, obviously you're interested, in anybody else, let us know. I think we could do a little convening on that. It'd be very timely and appropriate for our colleges to have some guidance from a collective wisdom of people like yourselves, and we could share what that looks like. Yes, we would have that brainstorming session soon. We'll probably organize it. You know, Nicole, let's talk about that afterwards. How we want to set that up, because a brainstorming session like that it's not our typical approach to ICT Educator Series, but we could have a one-off, maybe a different day of the week or something like that.
Absolutely.
But, it's and ideas, people just writing in ideas or what they're currently doing. And the other thing I wanted to ask today, based on Pablo's example, do others of you have BIW success stories? Because you know, if you go back a couple of weeks, we just had this incredible presentation by Karen Beltramo of WestEd, looking at all the data for all the ICT type subsectors and everything else, and the whole concept of the business information worker skill set still comes out as a huge opportunity, with opportunities for maybe 200,000 people. You know, I mean, it's like, come on, this is the hottest thing and the low hanging fruit, and it's the skill set people most commonly need. So I'm more than happy to bring the focus on best practices and share that information. And if those of you who are out there who have been doing this for a while have a story to tell, let us know.
Yeah. Well, Steve, one of the things that the reason why this appeals so much to our students is because a lot of them are working while they're going through school. They're planning on transferring to a four-year university and, you know, get their degrees in whatever it is that they want to do it. But this would allow them to actually get higher paying jobs while they're in school also. So it's not only for students that I just want to go get the certificate, just get a better job, and you know, that's where I'm going to stop. A lot of students that do want to transfer, they don't want to be working in, let's say, in a coffee shop or working on retail or something like that, and just making minimum wage, when they can actually be working in an office, making a little bit more money, getting involved, starting to get, you know, notice and get to network with other with other people in business while they go to school, and then they get a better, you know, a better paying job at the same time. And so it becomes, you can actually see the faces of the students when you explain this to them, and they go like, oh yeah, I can actually get certified, make a little bit more money, go through school a little bit more comfortable, you know. And
some of those students are 40 or 50 years old too.
Absolutely, yeah. And we have some students that are coming back, you know, that they have been in the workforce for a long time, and they're coming back, and they just want to get acquainted with the new technology, and that's great too. So that's the good thing about this particular type of programs. The BIW fits almost everybody, because even it doesn't matter if you're just starting, you know, you're just starting, you're 18 years old, and you're trying to get your associates that you can transfer. Or you're coming back, you know, this is a skill set that you can use either way. Not only that, like I tell a lot of my Excel students, is this is a skill set that you're going to use for the rest of your life. You know, because I don't see Excel, I mean, I'll see it morphing, you know, through the next 100 years, but I don't see it going away ever, you know.
You're right.
So it's something that you need to learn, even for your personal use, for business use. For college use, you're going to need, you know, even for your future classes.
And for those of you, I mean, most of the people here, I think, already know about the Business Information Worker Program and concept. And on our website, Nicole has gathered all the information, including all the toolkits that she has done over the years to get cohorts going and that sort of thing. We also have the model curriculum for the CID, Business Information Worker approach, which has a very good quick start program where, for something like you mentioned Excel, it made me think about it, Pablo, is that sometimes you don't need to know everything about Excel. You just need to know enough.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't think anybody can know everything about Excel.
So it's like a one credit course in Excel is an extremely powerful opportunity. And same thing with Word and everything else. I think I get by at this stage in my life with basically one credit knowledge of Excel, and works fine for me. So anyhow, we have a whole lot of resources there, and it's the work we've been doing on this for years has been very significant. And if it's time to look at a remodel, you know, business information professional, then maybe that's the right thing to do.
I had a quick request, since we just barely got approval for our program. We were going to start it this fall, but because of all the situation we're in. We're going to start in the spring. But my question is, what have you guys done to, once you got it all approved, to market it to the community and to the businesses?
Well, yeah, that's true. I tried to tap into state funds for that, and we hired the state hired Ogilvy Myers, and they did ads and everything else. And I said, look, we got 80% of the colleges say they're doing this. Could we get in on that? And the answer was basically, I'll call you back. And so we had a very hard time getting embraced. So we've tried different approaches. We've tried working statewide with the California Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. We've tried placing press releases and that sort of thing. But building the momentum for this, I believe, is a grassroots effort, Pablo, like what you've done, talking to these businesses and building demand. I do believe there's value in having a consistent naming thing. That's why I'm happy to relook at the name or a core naming structure or something like that. Not that it's the main purpose would be that the word of mouth from one college in one area would help the word of mouth for another college in another area, because it'd be some similarity and people wouldn't be confused. But that's I think it's a slow growth kind of thing. I mean, we've learned that you can go out and Amazon Web Services can come out with a certification, and I get college presidents calling up saying, how do I do the Amazon Web Services certification? Or Google comes out with an IT thing, and even though we have wonderful, robust curriculum in IT, they want the branded thing that everybody hears about. And so one of the challenges we've had is we've tried to come up with an original brand. And, when Google steps in or Microsoft steps in or those others step in, there you got instant recognition. And so part of our strategy, maybe we need to look to where we can piggyback on some of those name brands to get the word out.
Absolutely. And in regards to the community, it's like influencers do nowadays. You have somebody who has a big influence in the community, you just get them on board, the rest will follow. So that's what we're doing with Eisenhower for our medical billing certificate is, they have been very responsive. They're very interested. We're taking advantage of that to say, well, Eisenhower is in it, Eisenhower is in it. Because then you will see other medical offices, other hospitals that, well, they are in it. We have to be in it because there's definitely something for us in there too. So we take advantage. Of course, the Coachella Valley is a smaller community compared to Los Angeles and some other, and the big businesses like this, they know each other. So we take advantage of that relationship and to show them that this is something that they need. Yeah. They don't know they need it. I mean, sometimes you don't know what you don't know, right? But once you get the big guys in, everybody else wants going to be is going to want a piece of it too.
Well, one thing I have noticed repeatedly throughout the California community college system, whenever anything succeeds, it's because someone has taken a personal leadership role and become an evangelist for it. And Pablo, you have definitely done that with College of the Desert and your region. And that's why we view you as a champion and someone who's doing wonderful work. And we would like to think that we could brand something and market it statewide, and that would be very clever. But I do believe it takes getting out there, talking to businesses. What you've done exactly.
Well, thank you so much.
All right, are there any other questions for Pablo or any other discussion points? I'm looking at the chat line. Rupo wants to know the status of the CID. Nancy, you have an answer? I mean, it's done, right? Not hearing you.
Yeah, I have to reactivate the screen. Yes, it is. We're approving courses as they are submitted. So talk to your articulation officer at the college, and they just need to submit your outlines and maybe take a look at what our outlines, the CID outlines, look like to make sure you meet the expectations. But yes.
Now, is Karen O'Connor still involved in that, or is she retired, or what's the deal with her?
No, she is still a reviewer, as am I. So
okay. That's good. You guys did terrific work on that, and I'd love to see that quick start certificate take off, because I think for a lot of people who just don't know what to do, taking those credits and getting that done right away is like all of a sudden going from not relevant to relevant, in one little package, and it's a credible quick start. All right, good. Well, with that, then I think we'll wrap it up. I want to thank you, everybody. I look forward to notices for our next thing. I would definitely like to do more business information worker presentations and proposals and discussion, because that's where a big market is. And I don't think we're, as a college system, I don't think we're doing everything we can do. Maybe we can do more.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I actually think that the more that we share with each other, you know, what we're doing, like I never thought about one in logistics, but that definitely works. It's like one, boom, yeah, this is a great idea for an area, you know, with big warehouses and big commerce. And it's good to know what other people have, because we can just help each other, you know, like I said, like, oh, we have real estate, you can have it. Oh, maybe we need logistics. I don't think that one here would be as big, but you never know. I would have to do my research on it. But if we share with each other, then we can actually come up with a uniform program that, you know, that we all can benefit, the students can benefit.
Well, and the consensus is the key. When faculty and deans and department chairs form a consensus and move forward with it, that's what seems to work. There's no top-down organizational structure in the community college system. And so it's really got to be consensus, bottoms up, grassroots. And the more we involve industry, the more credibility we have talking to each other. Because if you just say, hey, this is my idea, you know, people kind of, you know it is. But if you say, I've been talking to businesses and this is what they want, which is what you've been doing, Pablo, that is a totally different story. And that's great. Well, I want to thank you all for joining us today. Thank you, Pablo, once again for being an example of how to get things going. And we look forward to hearing from everybody there. And see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.